Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with this big, beautiful box of bot. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom, Autobot Ark. And I bumped the camera, so you guys should be used to that by now. Thank you for watching this video or any of my other videos that you may have run across. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I get. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. Because everybody loves new content, right? I know I do. But with all that said, let's get into it. And now, as we always do here on Digital Caveman Presents, let's take a look at the wonderful packaging for this Titan class figure. Again, Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom, Autobot Ark, and then same in Cybertronian. 15 and up, Hasbro, Transformers Generations, Takara Tomy. And that beautiful, beautiful artwork showing in bot mode, in alt mode, and he looks like he's about to crush Megatron. Now, on the top of the box, the artwork carries up from the front side of the packaging, and there you have the Decepticon ship Nemesis, and you have Airazor over here and some of the scrolling off of the golden disc. Here you have Black Arachnia falling from the Nemesis. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, there's Starscream, and then if I can maneuver it over here, then, you know, the Autobot symbol on the cave painting type deal. Now, on the side of the box, the artwork also does carry over from the front to the side here, so you can see other art parts of the Ark, and you've got pterodactyls flying up there, and we're crashed into the volcano and lava spewing out, and then Titan class. And then it says something else in Cybertronian, which I'm assuming is Titan class. And then let's see if we can take a look at the other side. And on the other side, we have this lovely Kingdom artwork that we are so accustomed to. And then at the bottom, Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Authentic. And let's see what's on the bottom of the box. Just small print, fine print, legalese print, a barcode. Made in Vietnam. Includes 2 figures, 4 accessories, golden discard, and instructions. And let's see if I can maneuver this thing to where we can see the back of the packaging. And here we have the back of the package. Sorry, y'all had to look at all my lights and stuff. Nobody wants to see that crap. But there it was anyway. Sorry. Product shots of the Ark Mainframe in both of his modes and the Ark in both of its modes. Golden Disc, Skywatch. Is it Skywatch? I don't remember. Sky Spy. Sky Spy. And little itty bitty Optimus Prime and the 2 golden discs. Mainframe actually has 3 modes: Robot, Teletran 1, and the bridge of the Ark when he fits inside the cockpit area. Hasbro Transforms more than meets the eye. Autobot symbol. Autobot Ark. And again, nice product shots. Shows the landing gears and the loading and unloading ramp. And some more small print, fine print, legalese print down here at the bottom. And that, my friends, does it for the packaging. And now, before I bring that big old bot in here, let's take a look at some of the accessories, at least the ones that aren't embedded into the figures themselves. First of all, we get these two nice blast effects. It should have been 4. I say 2 because it's, you know, I consider that 1 and 2, even though they are made up of 3 parts. So you have 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these. Again, I wish it would have been 4 total of this whole piece here, because then you would have had 1 for each thruster. But it does come with 2 of those. And of course, what's a Kingdom figure without one of these randomly packed cards? And this one is another Black Arachnia. And there she is. So, and then of course on the back, Kingdom, more Cybertron Trilogy, Hasbro, Golden Disc. Now here's a little itty bitty thing. And you may not be able to tell in the camera, but this is a miniature Optimus Prime. That is supposedly in scale with the Ark when it's in its alt mode. Possibly even when it's in its robot mode. But it actually looks like this is a translucent plastic with red paint on it. And why they decided to go that route instead of just molding it in red, I don't know. And that was his back. This is his front. Again, not that I don't know if you can really tell it on the camera or not. Probably not. But it is a little itty bitty Optimus Prime. This actually scales in with the, was it 2 figures that came with the, not the DCS drone, the Brunt repaint, and I can't think of his name. But anyway, here we have the instruction, Transformers Generations, Autobot Ark, and Autobot Mainframe. This is WFCK 30, 15 and up. And as usual, very well illustrated, and I like the colors. The Kingdom, I think, has had the best colors for instructions on Transformers to date. So again, nicely illustrated, mostly easy to follow. And that's it for the accessories that aren't packed in on robots. And now let's take a look at the alt mode of the Ark, which honestly, because it's the Ark, this is the main mode in my opinion. But it's not robot, so I guess it's alt mode. It does have some nice paint apps on it, and I'm sorry I have to use these to kind of point stuff out because I'm having to sit so far away from it to fit it all in frame. So nice Autobot logos and some paint here. This is molded in this color. Paint here. Translucent windows for the bridge or command center, whatever you want to call it. Paint on the guns. And that pretty much does it for the paint apps. Most of it is molded in color. You do have the, I guess this is where it's been come into atmospheric contact, but none up here, so who knows. Let's see if I can spin this thing around so we can take a look at the bottom side of it. It is kind of heavy when you're handling it with one hand also. Looks like black paint apps here, again on the guns here, silver here. You can see a little bit of robot parts here, the landing gears, and more guns, and the ramp. And that about does it for the paint apps. There is nice molded detailing all throughout the figure, even, on the other side. The view from the side here, there is this big glaring gap that I'm sure somebody already has a kit to fill that in, and I may be looking at to get a kit to fill that gap in, particularly because I do believe I'm going to leave it in this mode, and in fact upright like this, to where it is ready to blast off. But yeah, this, it's an issue, it's not an issue, just depends on how you look at it. Displaying it this way, you're not much gonna notice. So, and again, nice molded detail throughout. One issue I did have, I did transform it into robot mode and then back into Ark mode. And one thing that I've noticed is like where the upper part here connects to the legs and feet down here, it does leave some gappage in here. It does not quite want to tab up the way it was designed to. There's two latches on here that are supposed to fit in here. It won't hold. And then right here and here there's tabs. They just won't stay where they're supposed to tab into. So it does leave a little bit of a gap. Just something to know. When you pull it out of the box, you don't see that because it's all rubber banded together. So that leads me to believe that Hasbro was aware of this engineering defect, but it is what it is, I suppose. Not any worse of a QC. I mean, there's been worse QC issues in Kingdom than this little bit of gap right here. I mean, it's not like the ship itself falls apart and has floppy legs or is missing a tire or anything. It just doesn't quite fit up together like it should. And then, of course, let's take a look at it and see if I can get it all in frame sitting on the landing gears. See, even on the landing gear, I don't know how well you can see it in the gap right here. And I don't know if it's just my copy or if I didn't have something aligned just right, but I've tried several different things and can't really get it to fit like it is supposed to. Let's take a look at the back if I can fit it all in camera. And of course, it's going to need a gap filler here, which that's not going to be that big a deal. And there's paint apps here in the thrusters that looks really cool, in my opinion. And that's where these can go. And now you see why I said I wish it came with 4 of them. And then, of course, the button right here, you lift it up. I guess a lever, not button. And that makes the ramp pop down. And you can take your little itty bitty Optimus Prime. Autobots, load the Ark. And then we'll take a look at it from the front. And it looks pretty good from the front. The color on this plastic, at least under my lights, doesn't quite look like it matches everything else. It's a little bit lighter looking. And then, of course, the translucent windows in there. And Optimus Prime, well, there's actually places for those little itty-bitty figures to fit inside the cockpit, which I'll show you when we go to transformation. But I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that's a look at the alt mode. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for alt mode comparisons, and I am not going to do any Titan alt mode comparisons simply for the fact that I do not have room. If I think I can work it out, I will do some robot mode comparisons. But with me, as always, is Legends class, Titans Returns Legends class, Bumblebee. And here is the Amazon exclusive alternate universe or dead Optimus Prime. And I think that is going to do it for comparisons in alt mode. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the comedy portion of our show, where I will attempt to transform this Transformer and hopefully can get it all in frame. We shall see. First of all, let's close the landing gears and the loading platform. They just kind of snap into place. You'll hear it. We'll get this one in the front too. Alright, and then what we want to do is just kind of untab that, and it will fold down. And just kind of, you can see there's little itty bitty tabs right here, and you probably can't see it, but there's a slot right here, and that is supposed to just fit in there. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And this time it seems like it doesn't want to. Okay, then here in the midsection, this piece and these pieces will lift up, but first you want to untab this little piece right here, and it just kind of loosens this whole thing right there, and this piece will probably pop off. It tends to do that. If it does, it's not a big deal, and then you do the same thing over here on this side. Just kind of loosen that up, and then what do you know, they didn't pop off this time. You just lift that whole section up, and at this point you can pull out mainframe, and there is the bridge. And here's what I was talking about. On this little bitty Optimus Prime, you can see he has a base and these spaces that are the same shape, and so the figures fit in there, sorta. There, he's in there now, and doesn't come out, so there's that. Now these parts that I was talking about popping off, fold them down, and then you will want to, see if I can get it where you can see it. You just want to fold them in, and there's an area right here you can see where they fit in, and you'll hear them snap into place. Now this piece back here, you'll flip that like that on both sides, and then it goes in. Now for the next section, you just kind of untab the arms here and raise them up, and I don't know, maybe you can see it, there's a little clasp right here, and it just kind of, you just kind of lift it up and it locks in place, and then you flip it out, and the same on the other side, and just flip it out. Then you can take this piece, I think, well, that's way off. Sorry, I can't look at the camera and do this at the same time, folks. It's just too big. Did I get something wrong? No, I don't think I did. Now, there's some strong ratchets in that thing, folks. Let me tell you. And you can see there's some clasps here, and it's supposed to go right in this part right here, and you do have to push it pretty good to get it in there. God dang, you hear them ratchets? And there we go. And that popped back out of place. But once you got that, this should go let's see. There's some tabby things right here and some holy things right there. And you just kind of want to get those to go together. Maybe I can do it on camera. Okay, got that side. And I think that side too. So there is the upper part, torso at least, and the arms, just kind of straighten them out that way. And then the hands just pull out, and as the hands pull out, you'll notice this part right here comes out too to kind of fill in the gap. So not a big hole in there, so that's good. And rotate the hand after you rotate at the bicep. And there you go. And then we will do the same thing on this side. And rotate it where y'all can see this hand and this piece coming out. And then it just kind of straightens up. Rotate. Rotate. And there we go. The upper half is done. Now for the lower half, first thing you want to do is open this little hatch right here. And the tower just separates off of this tab right here. Here's the slot for it right here. You can see. And it just fits down in there, and that closes right back up. And you just kind of split the legs apart and pull them down. And you can see right here there's a couple of latches that latch on to right here when you go to put it back into Ark mode. So the leg looks like that, and close that back up. So that's one. And you just straighten the other one out just the same way and pull it down. Then, I'm sorry y'all if I keep getting this out of frame. Spin the waist around. We're still not done with the feet. Gotta flip out his little toesies. And they just flip out and lock like that. Same thing on the other side. You'll see there's a little clip right here and right here. Oh wait, that's not it. It's back down in there. So. And there we go. I do believe that is the Ark. All transformed like. I gotta go way back here to get him in frame. This is fun. Sorry if y'all are getting more mess behind the magic than you actually wanted. But there is the Ark. And now we still have to transform Mainframe. So first of all, I'm just going to take the little Optimus Prime out and set him to the side. I don't know if I'm going to leave him in the Ark here in the cockpit, or I'll probably just put him away with the accessories that I don't use. So let me see if I can remember how to transform him. First, you got a peg and a hole and a tab and a slot for the legs, and you want to undo those. And then, not that yet. Then you straighten them out, and then they will separate. There's a tab and a slot right there. And these flaps right here come loose right like that. Then you spin the foot around. Then you just latch it back into place and do the same thing on the other leg here. Spin the foot around and then just tab those back into place. And then you spin the whole waist around. Then for the arms, you straighten those out and you open these up. You can see it just opens up like that. Then you pull the fist out and you close that flap back down. And then you do the same thing on this side. And then you'll twist the arms at the biceps to get them placed correctly, unless you do that, in which case they are just on mushroom pegs and you can just snap them back into place. Then you take this and you take Sky Spy. He just pegs in. It's got a hole and there's a peg right there. He just pegs in there, but you want to pull the head out and then spin it around, and then this is on a double hinge, and you just take it down and then you'll slide it back into place like that. And yes, he does have a big old backpack. And then you can take Sky Spy and you just fold the solar panels out, and he's off spying and scanning stuff. And that, my friends, is transformations. Both transformations for Ark. This guy still has one more transformation, and we will probably cover it at the very end of the review. And next up, we will take a look at the figures and the articulation, and hopefully I can fit it all in frame. And now let's take a look at Mainframe and the Ark in their robot modes. And let's start off with Mainframe because he's just going to be easier to deal with, I think. And here we have a handy dandy pin light to show off that, guess what, he does have a light pip. Can y'all tell? Yeah, there we go. He does have a light pip, and the Ark has one too. When we get to him, we'll do the little pin light trick too. So there is that. There's a nice Autobot symbol, some paint here. I do like the face sculpt. I think that is pretty neat looking. Lots of molded details, some decals or tampos. in a couple of places, and you know, a couple of paint apps, not a whole lot. You know, the big glaring thing with this guy is this backpack, and this is one of the accessories, and there's actually no other place to store it, so I'm just gonna leave it there. At least I've not found any other place to store it. And there you can see the light pip right there. So he does have a pretty big backpack, which is the bridge of the Ark. So there is that. Now, as far as articulation goes, his head will do a full 360. He really has no up and down. I mean, I guess you could say he has a little bit of waggle in there, but not really. It's just where it's kind of loose. I think it's on a peg and not a ball joint. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know if y'all can see right in there, but it looks like it's on a peg rather than a ball joint. So now arms, because of these big flaps on the back of his arm and the backpack, the arm doesn't get much articulation back. It'll go about that far forward. Now it will do a full, if you move the arm around, it will do a full 360. So it does have full range of motion, just that the backpack and this arm flap gets in the way. And he does have a bicep rotation. Again, you kind of have to move this arm flap out of the way a little bit to get full use out of it. Elbow gives you approximately 90 degrees. Nothing at the wrist. I guess you could say he does have a little up and down, but that's due to transformation, and I don't count that. So that's just me. Arms will do full T-pose. You just have to watch out, because he will, you know, you'll touch the backpack down here and it'll come loose from up here. So there is that. Legs will go out they will go up pretty darn far. Let's see if I can get the arm out of the way. So, you know, he's got a high kick there, which makes up for he has nothing in the back because of the backpack. He will kick forward that far. He does have a bend at the knee, which is approximately 90 degrees, and he does have upper thigh rotation, which will go a full 360 degrees. And ankle, nothing forward and back, but of course, if you work out a little bit, he does have full ankle tilt, 90 degrees worth. So there is that. But overall, I think this is a pretty good figure. I mean, it is what it is. It has to transform into two different things. And we know something always suffers on a triple changer. So this form kind of suffers a little bit. And there's not really much to the bridge thing other than, you know, he just kind of bends over, folds his legs up. But that's him. Does this one really count as a figure? I don't really count this as a figure. It's an accessory, but guess what? He will take blast effects. So there is that also. Now on to the big guy. Let's see if I can situate things. Probably not. I'm going to get the whole thing in here, and when I can, I'm not going to be able to reach everything. So yay! Titan class. So let's just sit him down for a minute. If I can get those ratchets to sit down. Alright, there we go. Now, I didn't mean to shine you guys in the eyes. Now, as far as his... I can hang on to stuff. There's his light pip. You can see his eyes lighting up. So that's pretty neat. I'm glad they included that feature with this figure. as far as let's cover the upper torso articulation first. His head won't quite do a full 360, but you get enough range of motion out of there. Well, yeah, it will. If you force it a little bit, it will do a full 360. Okay, arms. Arms will go out maybe a little better than 90 degrees. And it does have an upper bicep rotation there. I think that may be a shoulder rotation. Well, it's a bicep rotation. And then, of course, we also do have shoulder rotation on those super tight ratchets. That will do a full 360 degrees. And as far as, let's see, as far as the elbow joint, you do get more than 360 degrees. I mean, it'll go, but that's mostly due to transformation. And while we've got it up here, the wrist, you do have wrist rotation, full 360. The thumb opens and closes, and the fingers are all on one hinge, and they will open and close also. And that is the same on both sides. Now, let's get the other arm up. Let's get this arm up. He does have a full 360 degree rotation at the waist. And I really didn't I went straight into articulation and really didn't talk about the paint job or anything, but mainly everything that I talked about in the alt mode applies here. There's really no difference other than maybe the deco on the face and the light pip, of course. And then you have nice Tampo Autobot symbols right there on his shoulders, or maybe his armpits. So there is that. And he kicked the camera because he likes to. Now, as far as lower torso articulation, he has, you can kind of see there, he has pretty good high kick there, and I'm sure it goes back even further. It does. Ark has the mule kick. You can't really see a whole lot there, and I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm doing the best I can with my setup and the size of this guy. Knees will probably go more than 90 degrees. Let's see. Yep. More than 90. And then let's lower the camera down so we can take a look at the feet. Now, he really has no forward and back, but he does have some slight ankle tilt. So there is that. Big old ratchets. All right, guys, and I think that does it for a look at these two dudes in their robot modes. Alrighty. And now let's take a look at some robot mode comparisons, and I had to go ahead and put Omega Supreme Titan Class Siege Omega Supreme. I had to go ahead and put him up there because there was no way I could reach it to put it in here while I was doing the review. So you can see these guys, other than the wings on Omega Supreme, they are pretty approximate in height. I think Omega Supreme beats him out just a little bit from head to toe, but it's not by much. And of course, with me as always is Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee. And the leader class sized Netflix Optimus Prime. And here we have Kingdom Commander class Rodimus Prime. And let's move that down just a little bit. And there we go, my friends. Robot mode comparisons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if I can remember how to change mainframe into Teletran 1. I think one of the first steps you have to do is lift this up and flip the fist in, lift this back, or not lift it back down, but let it back down. And same thing on the opposite side. Then I believe you have to put the head back inside. And crane this double hinge back up. You can see there's a tab here and a slot right there. There we go. Now these things on the legs come apart, and I believe you turn the feet 90 degrees this way. And then same on the other side, straighten those panels out. And then turn the foot 90 degrees. I believe you take this tab and that slot right there and put them together, then do a turn at the waist. And just kind of move these out of the way for a minute. And you'll see there's hinges on both sides here where this comes open. And here's where you can see the golden discs, and we'll get to those. I'm going to go ahead and just flop them out of here for right now, because they're probably going to fall out anyway. But we'll take a closer look at them in just a minute. But you flip those panels open, and then you want to utilize the knee joints and then the hip joints, and this part will join in with the legs. Then you turn around and look at the back, and on the inside there's these little flaps right here. You just kind of flip those up and we'll maneuver them into position. There's slots right here that line up with this, and then there's a tab right in there where that just kind of holds it in position. And then we'll do the same thing over on the other side. Maybe we will. There we go. Just kind of straighten and tighten it up just a little bit. Then you'll see right here there's a slot and a tab. And then there's also one here. And you'll, how does that go? Dadgummit. Flip this back out like you're going to put the fist back out. And then that'll tab in here. And this will tab in right there. And then we will do the same thing on the side. And all right, there we have Mainframe in his Teletran 1 mode. Sorry, let me straighten that up just a little bit. Now on the back side, of course, you know, we've got this. There's nowhere else really for that to go. So I'm just going to leave it there. And then, of course, the golden disc will store here. And let's take a look at them real quick on this side. It just looks like the golden record that we actually sent out into space, the Sounds of Earth. But then on the other side, you have these glyphs. And then it's the same on this disc, Sounds of Earth on this side, and looks like a record. But then, as you can see, there are different glyphs on this record, or disc, whichever you prefer to call it. I'm old school, so they're records. And of course, they don't want to stay in, because I wanted them to. And I'm on camera. There we go. Put them both in at the same time. That seems to help a little bit. Not really. I guess I spoke too soon. So there's that. Also, Sky Spy will fold up and store right here on this peg like it does when he is in robot or bridge mode. So storage, and storage. Always storage options are good. And there, let's take a look at Teletrain. Of course, we have these. I'm not sure if they're tampos or decals. It looks like they might be decals. Here, you know, here's the Ark. Here's, I don't know, maybe that's Vector Sigma and the key. And then a map of the Earth and the Matrix. And some power bars there. And then like 2 kinds of radar screen thingies and maybe the intercom. I don't know. But there is lots of nice sculpted detail on here. And, you know, they say this is Teletran 1. It doesn't necessarily look as Teletran 1 as it could. He could just be any computer, really, on the Ark. But, you know, I'm not real happy with the gappy here. And then, well, of course, you're not really going to be looking at it from the side, but it is quite robot mode looking messy on the back side. But again, like I said, you're not really going to be utilizing it where you're looking at the side or the back side. Usually it's going to be this way. And just for a little scale, here's Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee and Leader class Netflix Optimus Prime. So compared with Optimus Prime, he's a little small to be Teletran, in my opinion. Your opinion, of course, may vary, but nevertheless, it is nice to get an official representation of Teletran, even if it is a little on the messy side. Beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. And that completes our look at Mainframe as Teletran 1. For final thoughts on Kingdom Titan class, the Ark and Mainframe, I do believe that these are worthy additions to my collection. The Ark in this particular mode, in the actual Ark mode, I do believe is the way that I'm going to place it into my display. The robot mode is rather nice. I do enjoy it. It's, you know, it's on par with the other Kingdom Titan class figures. Scorponok being a little bit taller, because of course his extra robot is his head, and gives him a little bit more height than the Ark does. I wish I would have had room really to compare all three of the War for Cybertron Titan class figures. But it is what it is. At least I did get to show Omega Supreme. And I may actually do something with Omega Supreme in base mode, the Ark in the ship mode, and the Botropolis Rescue and Skylinks. I may try to do something with those figures to see how well it all just gels together. Well, that does it for the review, folks. I hope you liked it. It was rather... I will say this. Reviewing a Titan class figure is rather exhausting. It's not easy thing. In fact, I had to do this over 2 days. Simply because it was quite literally wearing me out. But I hope you like the video, or any of my other videos that you may have run across, which I hope is all of them. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. I thank you, and thank you for watching. Thank you very much. It's you guys watching my videos that keeps me doing them. So, you keep watching, and I'll try to keep doing. Leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, and don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. And that's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.